Okay, we are back to this Singer 66-1 again, born on December 6, 1921, making it almost, soon it'll be 100 years old. And what I've done is I've set it up right now. If the camera is able to kind of pan over here a little bit, you can see I've set it up with a hand crank. I want to be able to demonstrate the machine both with a hand crank, and then also I'll probably do one or two sew-offs with the motor as well. But I think most people have interest in this machine because of the hand crank in its application. So I'll probably show a little bit more of that. But what we're going to be sewing off on now is this thick piece of genuine cowhide leather. If the camera's nice and tight, you can see with your own eyes there's nothing thin about this at all. And I'll tell you one thing, a lot of people don't realize that when it comes to leather sewing, a lot of professional leather sewers will actually choose to use a hand crank over using a motor. So that's the reason I'd like to demonstrate in this first video a leather sew off with a hand crank versus putting the motor on first. So with all that said, follow me down to the needle, and I'm going to go ahead and slide this underneath the presser foot. Notice, even with a thick piece of genuine cowhide like this, there is more than ample space underneath this presser foot. I mean, there's just a ton of clearance. So I'm going to drop that presser foot down, and I'm going to go ahead and crank this off. And the beauty of the hand crank is you can really listen to the machine, I mean every aspect of it, because all you're hearing is that needle movement, the bobbin operating, and the movement of the hand crank itself. So it's kind of cool. It kind of takes you back a ways. All right, so here we go. A thick piece of genuine cowhide by hand crank. Here we go. That's kind of cool, isn't it? I actually kind of pulled a little bit crooked first, so I had to kind of stabilize the base. But the final result, look at it with your own eyes. It's just a gorgeous quality stitch. Again, I've got the stitch a lot longer right now, so you're going to be able to see that we're probably really close to that 6 to 7 stitches per inch. You could just as easily do a finer stitch and just turn the stitch regulator the opposite way, counterclockwise, and you're going to be able to make that stitch a lot finer. As a matter of fact, I'll tell you what, let me clip these threads. And why don't I demonstrate that on the same piece right now? Let me just see if I got any other stray threads kind of floating around here. There's another one. All right, so you can see our stitch right here. I'm going to turn it over. You can see our lock-in looks great as well. Very, very nice lock-in stitch. All right, follow me over here by this gorgeous Singer emblem. I'm going to go ahead and turn this counterclockwise to make that stitch a little bit smaller. We won't go too small, but you can see I'm turning it probably a good half turn almost. I'm going to put this underneath the presser foot again. Let me get that all into position. And we'll see if we can lay a line pretty close to that other one so you can look at them comparatively. And this is not showing the full scope of the stitch length, not even close. It's just going to give you an idea of how easy it is to adjust it. Okay, so we've got our presser foot down, we've got the leather in place. I'm going to go ahead and grab hold of that hand crank and kind of gear up here to get her going. And we'll sew this one off as well. So here we go. Kind of cool, isn't it? It really kind of gives you a different flavor of sewing when you use a hand crank with a machine. Let me go ahead and give this a clip and I'll show you them side by side. Okay, you can see obviously this first one is our original stitch, and this is our second one. I didn't really adjust it as much as I thought I would, but it is slightly different. It's going to be a little bit smaller. We probably could have gone quite a bit further counterclockwise to really accentuate the difference, but the difference is certainly going to be evident. Matter of fact, I'll show you when I was just getting done servicing this machine. This is my stitch off just to check quality of stitch. All the way here on the left, I had really cranked it far counterclockwise to the left. You can see how fine that stitch can get. Gradually kind of increased it as I was turning it back clockwise all the way to this point right here, which is probably very close to what we just sewed off. So The range on this machine is spectacular. You may be sewing within a certain range all the time, but it's available if you need it. So again, you saw how easy we hand cranked off this leather piece, and you'll see a variety of other stitch materials as well using that same hand crank feature. Check them out.